Welcome to the Warband, a World of Warcraft podcast. I'm your host, Swag. With me today is Chicken. Dude, Chicken, I don't know if you've heard yet, but tanks are finally almost kind of good.
Oh, yeah, I haven't heard that. That's kind of interesting because I thought they were already good.
Well, no, yes, but no. So,
it's kind of hard. I don't play with a lot of tanks because I am a tank.
Yeah, no, I get that. I primarily tank myself. It's just in a weird spot right now where in lower keys, yeah, it all feels good. When push starts coming to shove, though, and things get a little more difficult and gets dicey, Monk has just like well above and beyond showed that it can sustain a whole lot more. It's interesting to me, though, because Monk doesn't even seem like it's that strong, maybe? I don't know. It just seems like everything else is really, really weak, and because everything else is really, really weak, Monk now comparatively feels really strong. But it doesn't feel like, I don't know, like last expansion, right? We had some really strong Vengeance tanks. Doesn't feel like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we have
I don't know.
Buffs. Yeah,
they're like the only ones that didn't get buffed though.
No, yeah.
Would be Brewmaster.
Yeah, Brewmaster did not get buffed. I think it might have even gotten a nerf. I don't see that in the blue post I'm reading, but I do recall seeing, I think I read somewhere in like a more extensive buffs and nerfs list that Brewmaster actually got a little bit of a nerf this time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which again, back to what I was saying, it doesn't really feel like Brewmaster's that strong. So I would have preferred to see Brewmaster stay where it was at and find a way to elevate the other tanks close to what Brewmaster was, and get them onto Brewmaster's level. I've been playing Blood. I've been playing Blood DK, and it's good. Like again, anything under like 13, anything like 13 and lower, I feel fine. But when I start going above that, you really do feel it. Like there's a couple hits that you take that just wreck you. Like they wreck you so bad. And Blood is fine when my cooldowns are up. Like if I have Dancing Rune Weapon, I'm A-okay, right? Like, Icebound Fortitude, I'm okay. But the moment my cooldowns are done, dude, it's a slog. It is a slog. I miss old Blood DK healing.
Like old Blood DK? Legacy Blood DK?
Yeah, Legacy, dude. Legacy, where your heal, where your health is just like juiced. So, anyways, what we're seeing, Blood is getting a buff. Primarily, it looks like they're trying to work on buffing his Apex talents, finding ways to keep Blood feeling strong in between cooldowns. In the notes here, in the notes, I see that health and Death Strike are like the health, your overall health and your Death Strike healing are also being buffed, but that's not given a numerical value. It's just a note. And then Vengeance is getting some buffs. Right, like Thick Skin's getting buffed, more Mastery, Void Reaver buffed. So, some cool stuff. Prot Paladin was, I think, in a very similar spot to Blood DK. Just did not feel good.
Bad. Bad to the bone.
So, trying to improve baseline durability is what they're saying. So, again, more increases to their overall defense, not necessarily their cooldowns themselves, but really just the overall passive ability to live.
I mean, I think it's the right move to make.
Yeah, it seems like Blood and Pally are getting hit the hardest with buffs. Warrior also has some buffs coming in. I don't see anything on Bear, but that probably makes sense. Bear is, I think, in a very niche spot, right? So
no one plays Bear.
Depends on what content you're doing. I believe Bear's pretty good on some boss fights, like Bellarem. Bear does generally pretty good damage, so it's not terrible. Bear was almost like the best tank this season, and then they made some like last minute nerfs to it, which were absolutely needed, and that's where we're at now.
Interesting. I feel like I did know that actually.
Yeah. Yep.
I definitely did.
But anyways, Chicken, that always has me happy, dude. I love seeing kind of like balance tweaked in the game, shifted, adjusted. Because
I do too.
Especially like, dude, I play tank, man. I guess I'm like excited about it because that's the thing I do. And you know, when you have infinitely scaling content, when you have infinitely scaling content, like you have to accept that at some point you just aren't gonna be able to keep up anymore. And that I understand balance will never be perfect. Like Blizzard cannot and never will be able to perfectly balance the game. And I also don't even know if that would be fun if we had perfect balance, right? Because then you couldn't experiment, you couldn't try things, you couldn't like take risks in design. It's more fun kind of having that ebb and flow, right? Now you want the peaks and the lows to be kind of close, right? Like you don't want it to be this like huge swaying ship. You just want like a nice little bounce to it. But all that to say, I'm very happy to see these adjustments because it wasn't fun. Yeah, it wasn't fun as a tank, as a Blood DK specifically, looking at these groups and just being like, ugh, that like surviving that is rough. And I could, dude, at the end of the day, I could just swap to Brewmaster. I could do that. I get that.
That's true. You're a Brewmaster guy.
But I want to play my Blood DK, like, right? Like, and I want to feel like I'm keeping up. And yeah, maybe it's different when when there's like 20 different DPS specs you can play, right? But
yeah, it probably is.
Tanking,
I don't
like,
think people care as much.
But when you have like 5 tank specs, right, and only one of them is like super viable, right? Yeah, it feels weird.
Feels a little rough.
I mean, that's always gonna be the nature of it. Brew right now just has really good staggering of damage, right? Stagger's always been a really cool mechanic.
It kind of is, yeah.
But never enough to like truly put Brew in the spotlight. And I think right now it's in the spotlight because Stagger is just so good against some of these mechanics that we're facing in dungeons. And then, kind of the match that Resto Shaman feels really good having so much hot healing to kind of accommodate the way Stagger works, which is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's been a fun week in WoW, man. I've been busy, been playing a lot, been doing a lot of keys. I ran a lot of Pit of Saren this week.
That's a good one.
Yeah, you might remember that I said I would try chasing Biss for a minute and then come back and give my thoughts on gear and some stuff like that. So we'll talk about that later.
Pit of Saren over and over.
Yeah, like 6 times. I ran 6 times. Well, I think
that's not even that many.
I ran like 7. I ran 7. Well, that's because there were 6 items. I had my 6 void cords, and I knew Pit of Saren was the best bet because there was a couple Biss items in Pit. So Pit had a couple Biss items for me. It also had gear that could be catalyzed into Biss for me as well. And then on top of that, It also just had gear that was not necessarily Biss, but still a very definite upgrade from what I had previously. And so there was like 6 pieces of gear I wanted from Pit and 3 pieces of gear I did not want from Pit. And somehow every one of my bonus rolls gave me what I wanted. So it was it was pretty nice. It was pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. It was basically just raining myth track gear this week for me. Yeah, because I just hadn't had a chance to use my void cords until this week.
Dude, that's kind of crazy.
Oh, it was nice. So I got the hammer, I got the belt, right? That's Biss, and then got some other stuff like a cloak. That was a big upgrade.
What level are you? 1,000.
I honestly, I'd have to probably check Raider IO. Not anything crazy. I want to say like
250.
No,
300.
68 or 78. I think like 278.
I was gonna say there's no way you're 68. No way.
No, I think it's like
78 sounds a lot more realistic.
Yeah, I'm actually pulling up right now so I can give you accurate details. 278. Yeah, that was correct.
Oh, dang it. I was gonna guess something.
Yeah, I still have some hero stuff. I have like some hero trinkets and rings that I'll have to upgrade eventually, but it's feeling good, dude. I'm excited though because I've been feeling good in dungeons. Like I feel like I'm playing well. I feel like I'm playing very well. I'll be very happy to see some of these adjustments happen with blood, especially as I'm trying to I really do want to do the 3400. I really want to do 3400. I've kind of taken a pause on actual pushing IO while I'm just trying to get gear for a moment. But now that I feel like I'm a little more geared up, I want to get back to pushing IO.
3400, baby. Have you gotten KSL yet?
No.
Oh, you haven't?
No, but I'm pretty confident I can get KSL. I'm pretty confident I can get
Like,
KSL.
in the next week, or like, are you saying just in general you're pretty confident
In
that you can
general,
get it?
but I think in 2
Okay.
weeks. I think in 2 weeks,
2
I'll
weeks?
have KSL. Yeah.
Well, I got to get it in a week then.
Mm-hmm.
That's my goal. I've never gotten anything before you, so I have to do this.
Oh, dude, this is sick. Sorry. So random. So random. But I guess Raider.io automatically clips your Twitch stream if the run you did, and maybe there's like, maybe it's because I have an add-on. I don't know. But if you're streaming on Twitch, I do have my Twitch linked, I think, to my Raider.io.
Oh, that might be it.
So if you're streaming on Twitch and your like one of your highest time keys, right, is was live, they'll put a little camera icon next to it, and you can actually just like go
dude,
watch
that's
the
kind of
run.
dope.
Yeah, listen, I'm not usually checking out like too much on other people's stuff other than pugs, or I'm not like pulling up like other streamers and seeing what their keys are. So that's actually like
Now you will.
That's actually like pretty sick. Yeah,
Actually, you still probably won't.
yeah, because I've run a handful of a good handful of like 12s and 13s, and I don't feel overwhelmed in them. Like, I absolutely don't feel overwhelmed. I tried a 14 at one point, and we were actually gonna time it. We were actually gonna time the 14, and I think somebody like disconnected. I think I disconnected. No. It was me.
Oh.
I think, if I remember correctly, I think I was streaming, and my my stream just like bugged out.
I think you did talk about this.
I probably talked about it already. But anyways, that's what I've been up to this week. We also did some more heroic raid. We're on Laura, which has been a really fun fight. One of the things we opted to do on Laura is with, and I don't know if other people are doing this or not, but the symbols, right? So Laura has that like little symbol memory game where she flashes symbols, and then you have to arrange whoever has those symbols in that order that she flashed them in. And most people are using like an add-on to do it. Our guild inherently isn't the kind of guild where if everybody needs to get an add-on, they're gonna do it.
No,
it's just not. It's just not happening.
100%.
No way.
People are like, what? We need an add-on.
And technically, we could, like, I could just track it myself with buttons and then have it pop up on my screen, right? So at least I know. But what we've been doing, we did for a second try the add-on thing. But what we have been doing that has just been fun. I don't know why. It's been fun. I even got like a few messages from people afterwards thanking me for doing it. And so like, I don't know, like part of me was like, oh, maybe we do get an add-on working for next week. But then part of me just like enjoys the feeling of it, of like doing it. But what we're doing right now is when the icons flash, one of our officers, a guy named Z, he's been on the podcast before, he will just repeat the icons as he sees them, right? So he'll do the first set of symbols. As he sees it pop up, he'll just say out loud what it is. And then while he's doing that, I'm just working really hard because I'm tanking, so I don't have too much craziness going on in that moment.
Yeah, you're not doing anything really, let's be honest.
I'm just working on trying to memorize that order, right? So while he's saying it, I'm just like sitting there trying to memorize it. And all the pulls we did, I only got it wrong one time. And I didn't even get it wrong necessarily. I knew it was out of order. So I was like this one, and I forget the last two. And our group still got it. Like, our group actually still did the mechanic fine.
Oh, wow.
But for the most part, I would just like recite it. It would be like triangle, diamond, X, circle, moon, right? Or whatever it ends up being.
Yeah.
Right? And I would keep repeating it until it was time. Or if I saw that we were almost there, but two people in the wrong spot, I'd be like, X and circle swap, right? So basically, like, I'm handling, like, if all I have to do is tank and handle that one mechanic, right? It's my job to make sure they end up in that order. And sometimes when you go like analog with mechanics, it can be fun. It can be fun.
I agree. I think it makes the dude. I feel like the Leroy Jenkins type of playing WoW is like almost like the dream way of playing WoW.
Dude, sometimes we did.
Now everything's just too easy. Everything just gets tracked with add-ons and tells you when to jump, and it tells you when you're standing bad things.
Yeah. Tells you when your food buff is ready.
Yeah. Dude, exactly.
Yeah. The other thing that you made me think of, and I'll mention now, our guild has what we call Academy raid nights, right? They're the beginner-friendly raid nights. They're really fun. Somehow I've been raid leading most of those.
Makes sense to me.
I guess I don't know. I thought my wife would come do Academy raid, so I kept signing up to be at it, but then she would not want to end up doing it in the end, which is fine. I think she has to really talk herself into raiding. That's okay, cool with me. But then because I've already signed up, people like are already expecting me to be there, and we don't have like any healers, so I'm like, okay, I'll come.
It's all my fault.
I'll come heal.
The one time she went to raid and I said I'd be there and I wasn't.
Yeah, that's true.
I let her down.
That's true. That's why she doesn't show up anymore. But anyway, so we're at Academy Night this past week, and at one point I'm like, dude, we're just burning. We're burning these bosses. Oh, it was not Academy. It was Heroic.
Wait, you just did like a...
Oh, it was Heroic.
Just because?
Yes, I forgot. In my head, it had to have been Academy because... in my head, it had to have been Academy because of what we were doing. But no, this was our Heroic raid team. It was in Heroic difficulty. We raid 2 nights, right? And the first night, we get a message from our raid leader this week. Sorry, there's some story here. We got a message from our raid leader. Yeah, we got a message from our raid leader right before we started. He reached out to me and was just like, hey, Swag, I can't make it. A bit of an emergency situation came up. I have to go help a friend out with something. So I was like, all right, cool. I'll take the team. And so we went into Bellerin, right? And at this point, we had done a one night on Bellerin, but we were struggling. Like, we were struggling hard. But that was like pre-nerf, right? So now they've nerfed Bellerin. We're going in to try Bellerin for the first time. We get her down in like 3 pools. Actually, it became giga easy. I think we got the egg phase down to 10% on like the first egg phase, and we're like, okay, this we got it. Like this is the pull here. Like, so long as like 3 people live into the next egg phase, we're fine.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. So we do that, and we get to Laura. But like, dude, I really don't want the first pull on the final boss of the raid to not have our raid leader with us, right? Like, he's been putting all the work in, all the time in learning these fights, coaching everybody, checking everybody's logs, right? Like, explaining mechanics, doing callouts. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, well, we got Bellerin down, let's just go to the last boss now. And so the rest of the raid agreed with me. They're like, let's hold till tomorrow night, the following night, and start that last boss with our raid leader. Allow him to be there with us from pool number 1 because he's put the work in. So we then decide we're just going to re-clear. We'll just do a quick re-clear. And so we go to Void Spire. And I don't know, I was in some kind of mood. I think our team was playing well. I don't know what was going on. But dude, I Leroyed like every pool that night.
Right.
No mechanic explanations. Dude, we just ran in, pulled boss, and just live called. We weren't even putting markers out for tic-tac-toe anymore, right? Like, we just went in and we were like, and honestly, actually low-key, because we just started pinging for the tic-tac-toe instead. And that was almost easier.
Yeah.
That might have been almost easier using the pings instead of the markers. Because like normally it's like, oh, we're on the green one. It's like, okay, where was the green symbol? Or it's like, oh, star. It's like, oh, which one's the star? And now it's just like ping. Oh yeah, the ping. Go to the pings.
The ping.
Right,
mark.
the 2 pings, right? Wherever the pings are.
Just go to the ping, guys.
Those are the ones that we're doing. It's easier on your eyes to just catch it faster. But yeah, so anyways, all that to say, we were hard Leroying, but it was fun. It was fun, right? And so there is something enjoyable sometimes in the analog when you just go in and you're just figuring it out.
Steamroll,
and you're just calling things out, and you're not like totally putting all the forethought into it, right? You're not putting all the markers down. You're not planning who's doing what, but you're just like, yo, you guys, we have to wing it.
Just do it.
And we got everyone, but I think like 1 boss. I think we wiped on 1 boss, but whatever.
Yeah, close enough, right?
It was a genuinely good time. We had a great time that night. But Chicken, that's what I've been up to in a while, dude. What kind of great Warcraft stories have you got going on?
Yeah, not too much crazy. Just been a busy weekend and a busy week. Not a lot to do, but I have the next 2 weeks off, and I'm trying to double my IO in the next 2 weeks. So that's a thing. But
double.
yeah,
He's going for double. That's right. He's going for Keystone Champion.
No, it would only be Keystone Legend.
No, I think Keystone...
I'm only at like 1,500.
No,
man.
I think Keystone Champion's 1,600, right?
Oh. Well, I'm only at 1500, so technically doubling it would be Keystone Legend. That's why I said I was going to beat you to Keystone Legend. That's my goal.
You're not
beat you
beating
to
me.
Keystone Legend.
Not beat me to Keystone Legend. I'll beat you to Keystone Legend. I got you. Now I feel competition.
Now
I feel
you're
purpose.
like I'm encouraged. Dang it.
Yeah.
Dang it.
I feel
But
like
yeah,
meaning and purpose to my life now.
Yeah, now you're like now I have a reason to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't blame you. But yeah, I've been doing just some world content stuff still. Just banging out everything in the world content, doing the ritual stuff, which I think the ritual stuff is kind of cool. I mean, it's not like great. It's not like Delves, or it's not like Mythic Plus, but something to just log on and do real quick. I think it should replace Delves. I think it's a better Delves, you want me to be honest.
Really? Why's that?
I just think the concepts are a lot more challenging, and I think it's less like I think it's more just get in and do it, but also there's a little bit of hardness to it. Like there's some mechanics that you have to kind of like know, and if you do it like on like one of the harder difficulties, like it's actually like I've actually died.
Yeah.
And it's kind of shocking because it's like I don't think I've ever died in a Delves this season. Like just freaking steamrolling every Delves 11, you know. But these ones are a little bit more difficult. There's just more involved, but it's less like go here and do this. It's just like, hey, kill these 3 like semi-rigid bosses and then like that's it. And then you're done, and then kill like this boss, right?
Yeah.
But like the one that's this week is in Eversong Woods, and like it's low-key kind of difficult. Like there's like a point where like there's a boss that has like 3 million health, and there's like these freaking ads with it, and they just keep casting on you and pushing you away from everything, and then you get locked down. It's like it's low-key kind of hard. So that's been kind of enjoyable. And I think honestly, I think they should replace Delves. I think it's a better Delve system than the Delve system currently.
Do you think that systems like this could inspire future Delve design even? Because I'm not sure.
100%.
Because I'm not convinced. And this isn't me knocking Delves, right? I genuinely think Delves should be a system in the game. But I do feel like I'm trying to find a way to phrase it. I do feel like Delves aren't there yet. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like they exist. They're good so far. A lot of people really enjoy them.
Yes.
But there's a part of me that's also like, if they continue to innovate on Delves, and it doesn't feel like they innovated a ton between Midnight and The War Within, right? But if they continue to innovate on Delves and come up with fresher ideas, we could see some like really cool content come from Delves.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I just think like the current Delves, like the problem with the current Delves is there's just no mechanics. It's just go in and kill something and like get loot.
Do you think Blizzard wants that to be the norm? Like, do you think that there's an idea that Delves have to be easy generally?
Easy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We talk a lot about Delves, but I am curious on people's opinions if they like ritual sites more than Delves, because in terms of loot, like doing Delves right now is a little dumb. Like I feel like doing ritual sites gets you so much better gear, like pretty consistently better gear.
Yeah.
So other than like the myth track crest, which it doesn't matter anyways because it's not like you're getting myth track gear from Delves anyways. So yeah, that's a question to pose to the audience.
Yeah. If you need some myth track gear, go collect some void cores and have Chicken carry you through some 10s.
Dude, I low key, I've not used a single void core yet.
Really? Dude,
I'm still a little hairy on how they actually work.
All right, here's the deal. Let me tell you how to do it. I'll teach you right now.
Sure.
Boot up Pit of Saren 10. Complete the dungeon. At the end of the dungeon, it's going to have a bonus roll window pop up. Roll. Get myth.
Is that literally all it is?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that's really easy.
Oh, dude, freaking... I mean, I know I complained about it a while back, and I want to make comment on it after this topic. But dude, myth track gear falls from the sky right now. Gear in general falls
Myth
from
track gear. Wow.
gear in
Kinda
general
crazy.
falls from the sky right now. Yeah.
That's kind of crazy
Rains.
based on the fact that they're like pulling back on the myth track gear. That's no long. It's like it's no longer Warbound in the 0.7 patch for that raid. I forget what it
Really?
is. I'm looking it up right now. I think it's just supposed to be like, I think it's. I'll have to look at it real quick. But yeah, like they're kind of pulling back on that a little bit. So I'm kind of surprised that it is like.
What's the point of it then?
What do you mean?
All right, so for those who are listening, right, Chicken's talking about the new raid, quote unquote raid. It's one boss, like the new raid boss coming out. And at one point, the PTR testing or something was telling us that the boss was going to drop on mythic difficulty, would drop mythic warbound gear, right? So whatever gear you got would have been warbound, so you could theoretically trade it to your alts as a way to get them some gear. Now, Chicken's saying that's no longer the case. The gear that drops there is like just for your player, your character.
But it's like better. Like it's like a higher tier track. It's like 300 eye level.
Oh, is it actually? Okay.
Yeah, it's 298.
Okay, well that's what I meant because
track gear.
Because that's what I meant. If it's same eye level as a normal myth track, then like what's the point? Because
no, I agree.
None of it's BIS, I don't think, right?
Yeah.
Not that BIS is the only thing that matters, but by the time it comes out, the people who are already getting that gear aren't gonna, right? It's not gonna be meaningful.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So they've resolved that then.
Yeah, it's this what's it called? They call it bore fused.
Oh, sick, cool.
So it just bumps up everything like a little bit. It's 9 item levels above 6 out of 6 myth, and I don't know if everything is 9 things above.
I wonder if they weren't sure what they wanted to do with it yet, and so that's why it was Warbound, or if because there wasn't an actual tag that existed yet to make it, as you said, war fused, and so they just slapped the Warbound tag on it until they had a chance to correct that.
Oh, that's probably pretty accurate, to be honest. That wouldn't surprise me if that's exactly what they did. Yeah, but it's a little bit better. So it's. I mean, I don't disagree with you. Is it worth doing? I don't know. Maybe if you're like the 0.1% and you want to try to push that 0.1%, you know what I mean? Like you're trying to get just like a tiny bit of eye level, because it does drop like random stats. Like it's not like
predictable.
This is, you know what I mean? So that is kind of helpful.
Give me that double haste.
Yeah, well, that'd be kind of interesting.
I don't think that's the thing, but yeah, it'd be sick.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. But it looks like it's kind of on track with like these void core things, but I think that's no. Yeah, the void core lets you like increase like item level of crafted trinkets and stuff, or crafted items. I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, there is like this weird push of like myth track gear, but is it because there's myth track or myth crests available from world content? Because there will be myth crests, like it was confirmed that you'll be able to get myth crests from ritual sites in the 0.7 patch. So is there a point where we just see myth track gear fall from world content in a 0.7 patch? I mean, I don't necessarily hate it.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately,
it's an interesting concept.
Yeah, I'm generally one to be like, yo, the difficulty of the content should reflect, like what you get should reflect the difficulty, right? Across the board.
Sure.
And I know people disagree with me on that, right? People disagree with me on that. And that's fine. That's fine. Right? It's just a disagreement of like, do they think everybody should get the same gear just for playing, or if they should get gear based upon what they play? With that said though, I like by the time a 0.7 patch comes around, like I don't mind Blizzard loosening up a little bit as a season progresses, right? Like that doesn't necessarily bother me too much when it's like, oh hey, we're starting with like a pretty tight leash on this. But then as like it goes on, right, like it's a little looser and looser. The void cores seem like a little too quick. Like it's just like, yo, every week you get 2 myth pieces of gear just for doing a key,
that's
right? Like
nuts.
That's a little
nuts.
That's a little wild. It is what it is. I had talked a couple weeks ago about gear. And I said that at the time I had said that I would test out collecting BIS because a bunch of people were like, "Well, Swag, you can't have an opinion. You don't even have your full BIS yet. So what does it matter what you care?" So I've been working on collecting BIS gear to see, hey, is BIS collecting more fun? Like, is that why I think gear's too fast because I'm not thinking about BIS? And I think my answer on that is just that like BIS collecting it's okay, I guess. It's whatever. Like when I'm replacing like a myth track piece of gear with a myth track BIS piece of gear, I'm just like, oh, okay. I have the BIS now.
I agree.
Right? It's not the same as like the eye level jump. I'm telling there's something that hits the dopamine receptors when you get that little bump in your eye level. It's like, oh, the number's big. It's got the big number.
I agree.
Good. Yep. So I just wanted to as less for you, I think more for those who are listening. Also, one other thing I'll mention on the gearing conversation, because we had talked about it quite a bit, Chicken, and I want to make my point clear on the gearing conversation because I think it's easily misunderstood. So I'm gonna do my best right now to try and say it in its simplest terms. But you've heard me say before, I think that delves have hurt gearing in WoW. And let me clarify what I mean by that. I think gearing in WoW is in a weird spot because M+ gearing is really fast. It is really easy to spam gear in M+, right? I also believe that when delves came out, they lowered the requirement or the difficulty requirements in M+ of the gear that you got to accommodate for the fact that some of that gear difficulty could now be found in delves, rather than making the difficulty of delves in line. So my general argument is that I just think two things. One, I think right now those lower ranges of gear don't feel valuable, and I want them to feel more valuable, right? Like I want champion and veteran gear to kind of feel meaningful, like right, like I want those to still feel like a piece of the step. And right now it just feels like you go right for heroic, fill up heroic real fast, and then you go right for myth, right? So I kind of want that. So number one, I want gearing the progression to feel good along the whole journey. The whole journey I want to feel good, right? Not just the end of the journey. And two, I would also, my general argument is that the answer is not to get rid of delves. I don't think delves are bad. I just think that it's a domino effect, right? And that there were other problems in line, and this one domino piece had the momentum to exacerbate the other issues, right? And so because of the delving gear being, like a higher tier, right, for the content quality, now all of a sudden dungeon gear is easier to obtain as well. What didn't change though was raid, right? So you have this big disparity between raid and delves and dungeons, where like delves and dungeons, it's relatively easy to get stronger gear, and then raid is actually like significantly hard. Like if you want a piece of myth track gear, bro, it's so easy to go run like a plus, what is it, like a 6 or 7? 6, I think. Right?
6 gives you heroic, yes.
Yeah, a plus 6 is really not super difficult content. It's really not.
It's not.
I would also, like, it's very, very, very easy, right? I would also say that, like, delves again, right? Delves are also, even though it's not as easy to spam, right? Like, dungeons, you can just spam gear, right? It's still relatively easy to get just get your coffer key, go in there, get the piece of gear, and get out. On the other hand, though, our guild is still currently progressing heroic raid, right?
Yeah.
With a group full of people who are mostly completely full of hero gear and juicing up on plenty of mythic gear, right? And so like we're still working our way through that last boss. And so That's when I talk about the disparity there, it feels like the dominoes kept toppling over each other until one form of content felt like it was unnecessarily difficult to obtain the same quality of gear. Now, some people would argue and be like, well, swag, the raid gear is often more BIS than the delve or dungeon gear. And here's what I would say. I believe that all gear should be the same difficulty to obtain for the same eye level. Full stop. Same eye level, the difficulty should be the same. Whether you're getting it from world quests, delves, dungeons, PvP, your mom, raid, doesn't matter. Same difficulty all around. With that said, if it's all the same difficulty, regardless of where you get it from, dude, I don't feel like one of them should have the better gear over the other, right? Like, yeah. I think it shall be pretty equivalent. And maybe we find a way to make it that you can't just spam gear out of M+. That might help a lot. That might,
yeah.
Right?
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way,
hard.
if they were, and maybe this is a question for you, Chicken, because I love the way your brain works. If they were to stop spamming gear out of M+, right? Like a way where you're limited each week in how much gear you can get from M+. Or maybe,
imagine.
Or even if it like just severely slowed down, right? Like severely slowed down. I don't know. But some way to limit how much gear you get from M+.
Yeah.
At that point, you could justifiably add myth track gear to like the highest levels of M+, right? I'm not talking 10s, right?
Yeah.
Talking like 16s.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
Right? Yeah. And so at that point, right, like you could do that because now it's limited, right? Like even if it's just like, hey, you can get 1, 2, right?
Real quick, I believe that will happen one day.
Yeah.
I fully believe that point will come.
Dude. They have to slow down myth gear or dungeon gear. It's just way too fast to gear in dungeons.
And I mean I fully believe that one day you'll be able to get like pick up bind on pickup gear.
Yeah.
From, or I guess it's technically, well, no, it's still bind on pickup. You can just trade.
Yeah.
From Mythic Dungeons, whether you only get 1 a week or however they do it, I fully think that's going to come at some point.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And yeah, it's hard because when you talk about those 3 different content chains, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it goes back to our raid group. I mean, we're definitely a casual raid. No way in any circumstance should we be called, and I say we, figuratively, because I don't raid, but I don't think we should ever be called a competitive raid.
I would say we're like mid. We're mid, right? Like we're not super casual.
I guess mid's fine.
We're not super competitive, right? Like
I'm cool with mid.
Yeah, right. Like we've got a mix in our raid of people who are running 17s right now, and people who are just running 10s, right? And it's kind of like everything in between. I don't think we have anybody not running 10s yet for dungeons, right? So that's kind of where our team is, and it's a pretty even spread of like skill level. Our parsing is usually pretty good at raid, right? Like there's nothing super crazy. So again, I'm just clarifying what you're saying, right? Like our guild is not super casual for our prog raid team. Let me clarify.
No, definitely not. Yeah,
for the prog team specifically, right? That caricature, it's not super hyper casual. They're not hardcore, right? But they definitely play plenty, right? They're on a lot.
Yeah.
But it's kind of that mid core. They're mid core players.
Yeah, and the point being is the damage is there, and the players are good, but it comes down to that being a very like skill and mechanic heavy instance, right?
Yeah.
And when you think of like a lot of people in the past would literally go and get like AOTC with like a pug group because they didn't want to wait for the guild group to get it. And I was like, I mean, come on guys, like seriously.
Yeah.
Like you can wait, like unless you really don't want to for the amount that's really not that great, but like that's your prerogative, right? And I think that's where it comes down to, like, you have a bunch of people still playing heroic raid because you guys haven't beaten it yet, and it's hard to justify revolving gear around that aspect because have like a couple weak links in a raid is still semi doable to get it down, right? To
Yeah.
have a couple weak links in M plus, like you might as well just regroup, right?
Yeah. And by the way, our raid team does a great job. Like I love.
No, you guys are
love team.
good.
And we have a blast. And I just said we got about run down like 3
That's all
pulls.
that matters, right?
Right, and then we spent a
game.
whole night on Laura. And I'd also like to clarify, I don't want these bosses to go down in like one pull. And once you figure it out, once everybody like gets in the zone and they lock in, they figure out, those bosses become really easy to do. Like once you have it down, everybody just needs to feel it out and figure it out. So I'm not necessarily saying the bosses need to stay impossible. I guess all I'm saying is that it feels weird when you have super spammy M plus combined with an overall lowering of difficulty for gear caused by the Delve edition, right? And that affected M plus, right? They made the gear more available even in M plus because of that. Otherwise, people would have probably complained. And so now you have this disparity. So that's all I mean. I wanted to clarify because I've noticed that like some of the comments I've seen and just remarks people have, I think I maybe did a poor job explaining my full thoughts. I think sometimes the title that we use for like the episode title or the thumbnail on YouTube, those simply exist because we want to get people to click. I mean, that's all.
Clickbait,
right? I hate to say it that way.
Clickbait.
I hate to say it that way. Chicken and I, we love recording the podcast. But if nobody listened to the podcast, it'd be quite sad. So we do try to get something that incentivizes interest and garners that. But all that say, I just want to make sure I clarified some of that. By the way, if you're listening, right, like my question for you ultimately would be like, what do you think can be done? Even as to what Chicken was saying, right, like with the new systems they're adding in, what can be done to add maybe some more of that mechanical fun into delves, right, to kind of increase that difficulty without simply just making everything punch harder. Along with that, right, like what do you guys think is a way that they can make M plus not feel so spammable for gear? I want M plus to feel spammable for fun, right? Like if you're like, oh, I'm pushing my IO, like I want to spam M plus. Absolutely. I do that all the time. That's great. Maybe even spam it for crests. I don't care. That'd be cool if it was just a crest farm, right, with a cap every week. But we have a cap for crests, right? So why could we not have a cap for gear? I don't know. I guess maybe it then you feel like, well, I only had this week to get that piece, and I didn't get that piece, and I have to try next week. But that's how Rage feels, right? And I'm sure that's how our Delver dads feel, right, when they're running delves and they only have so many bountiful keys they can use a week or maps or whatever. So I don't know. Just finding that good balance, right? Let me know what you think would be a good way they could pull that off and make that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't disagree. It's weird, like to round it up, like the fact that I could, like you guys are raiding, right? I know you guys slap 6 and boss, right? You know, you could spend all that time doing raid or like bumping into like a couple fast like delves and getting like myth
dude. I get like no gear. I get like no gear from raid, right? Like
it's such a weird like
if gear if gear was
I
my
just
value,
don't know how they'll fix that. I don't think they can.
Yeah. They have to slow down mythic gear.
Oh yeah, that's the only way they can fix it.
Has to. Like
they have to
M plus gear,
slow down gear everywhere else.
M plus gear has to slow down. Right? Like that's the big deal of it. The difficulty has to be raised up,
gear.
Right? And then well, I think the difficulty just has to be raised, right? I don't even know if the speed.
Yeah.
I don't think the speed of gear and delves is a problem. I think it's paced very well. If anything, maybe a touch slow, but maybe that's because I'm comparing it again to M plus, right? And so M plus feels like it needs to slow down, and then the difficulty that the gear drops at for both M plus and delves, I feel like needs to raise up, right? All I'm saying is make champion gear great again. That's what I'm saying.
Make champion gear great again.
Bring back,
I agree.
Bring back the veteran gear. We support the veteran gear here on this podcast.
We support veteran gear. We support veterans.
Yes, we should. Yeah, the gear. Anyways,
gear for veterans. We support that.
Dude, listen. All right, anyways, we're moving on from this topic. Actually, we do have a Delve topic to talk about, and I'm curious about your opinion because I have thoughts on this one. I do.
Do we actually?
There was a Wowhead post, like an article post on Wowhead, and the author was writing about how Valeera is a terrible tank. It's like, why is Valeera such a terrible tank?
Oh
in
yeah,
Midnight?
I saw that.
Is it me? Like, I feel like Valeera kicks butt. Like, I did a bunch of delves on my shaman as a healer. I don't know, dude. I have no problem with Valeera. In fact, I thought she was better than Brand. So I don't know. Am I weird?
No. So like, I will admit the amount of dungeons I've done, I do definitely like. I'm like, yeah, like Valeera is interesting. Like, it's not that she's bad. It's not that she's like fantastic. She's just got like a learning curve. I feel like every time I've run a delves, like I'm like, dang, like I feel like Brand did so much more damage, and then like literally, like the boss will die like a second later at like half health, and I'm like, oh, okay, like it's very like Rogue where it's just like, oh, they do like no damage, and then all of a sudden they just do all the damage.
Yeah, she's got proper cooldowns.
And I'm just like,
you left it at the wrong time.
Yeah, and well, yeah, really. And I don't mind that aspect because I think it plays a lot more into the character of Valeera.
Yeah.
So I don't mind it, but sometimes I do. I am just like, dang, like this like trash is like taking forever to go down, and then like literally like half health. Just next thing I know is just dead, and I'm whoa.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've never had a problem with her, but also I guess maybe it depends on the specs that you play. I don't know if the author is running around as a DPS, and maybe that's the problem.
Oh, tank DPS. Oh, maybe.
Right, maybe they're DPSing and she's tanking, and that's the issue. I just know for me as a healer, and if you are healing delves, the trick is just spam Valeera with heals. Don't try to do damage. As a healer in delves, don't try to do damage. Just spam Valeera with heals, and she'll pump. She'll pump.
Unless you're like Monk.
Well, yeah, but in that monk case, I think you have to do damage to heal. I just mean focusing on it, right? Because if you're just pumping Valeera with heals, she'll do more damage because you're healing her than what you could do if you were to use those cooldowns for actual DPS. It's weird. It's just the more you heal her, the more she does.
You gotta cast that Maleficent Rain on her. She just feels so good that she does more damage.
Absolutely. Now, we're going to have a slightly shorter podcast episode today, everybody, just because of...
Wait, real quick.
Yes.
Or unless you have something else.
I will be transitioning to listener questions soon, so whatever you want to talk about, Chicken, the floor is yours.
The launch date for 0.7, June 16th. How do you feel about that? That's in 3 weeks.
June 16th. Here's the deal. That's perfect, because I think that's my anniversary week.
Ooh.
So
boom.
I can take off work, tell my wife it's so that I can spend more time with her.
Oh my gosh.
In Azeroth.
Oh my gosh, this guy.
Oh my goodness.
I mean,
I'm not actually taking off work for a 0.7 patch. Let me clarify.
Imagine taking off work for a 0.7 patch.
But it doesn't feel that far away. But I guess that is right. That's like a month away from now.
I mean, the expansion dropped in early March. So it feels right, but like the implications, like think like maybe 8 weeks until season 2, which would be like mid-August.
That feels right.
So,
they want season 2 out before BlizzCon, but like a good bit before BlizzCon.
Yeah, I think they have to because like if BlizzCon comes, I feel like they might talk a little bit about like Midnight, but I feel like they're gonna focus a lot on The Last Titan. But that's speculation.
I don't know, right? Because again, we'll be in season 2, so they can't do too much with The Last Titan because there's still like mystery to be had.
Season 3, yeah, right.
So we'll see. Maybe they'll hint at some stuff. I don't know. I'll be there. Everybody at BlizzCon. If you want to say hi at BlizzCon, feel free to say hi at BlizzCon, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, we're going to have a slightly shorter episode today just because I had a bit of an emergency last night, which is why the episode's coming out late. Nothing crazy.
Newsflash. This is a day late if you couldn't tell.
Yeah, nothing wild, but just had to take care of something when we were supposed to be recording. So a little different, gonna be a little shorter. And instead of talking about our normal things we would talk about before we get to listener questions, such as our amazing guild you should join, or being a part of our neighborhood, or even our Patreon, actually, please do subscribe to our Patreon. It helps support this podcast tremendously. I want to talk about a little fun project I've been doing that I'm pretty excited about. So if you don't follow me, Swag, on Twitch, you can see a link to my Twitch down in the description. I stream on Twitch right now about once a week on Friday afternoons, playing World of Warcraft, yapping with some of you guys about all things WoW, lore, gameplay, what you're up to, whatever. We're just talking about WoW. It's great. If you want a way to just talk with the hosts of this podcast, that's a fantastic way to do it. But I've always had, I've been streaming for 6 years now. 6 years, I think. Almost 6 years. And I've had a dream for a really long time. Maybe ever since I've started streaming. And this is gonna sound wild, but it's to build a guitar on my live stream. Like, just sit there on my live, just talking with people while I'm putting a guitar together. I've never been able to do it. I've always wanted to do it. For those who don't know, I am a huge guitar nerd. It's probably the one thing I can talk about more than WoW. No, we're not starting the Tone Band, a guitar podcast. So it is going to be just a kind of like a one-off project. But to fund that project, we're kind of doing something a little interesting. In our Discord, the Warband Discord, you'll see a link down in the description to the Warband Discord. You can join that. Even if you just want to hang out and chat with people, you're welcome to join it and hang out, find people to run content with, whatever. But in that Discord, we are doing these 2 sponsor runs of like mobile games. So the first one we're doing started last night, and we're playing through, of all games, we're actually playing Yahtzee with buddies, right? And so for everyone who downloads the app, it actually puts money towards this project to build a guitar on the live stream. And everybody who levels up in the game, the more you level, the more it supports that project as well, and it helps fund it. So if you want to find like a cool, fun, interesting way to help support a little dream of mine that I've had for a long time that I'm really excited to kind of actually take the risk on and try to do, go check out the Discord for more information. There will be a link as well, though, here in the show notes or in the links below or whatever, to the download link for Yahtzee with Buddy. You can just download that using our link to make sure that you're locked in and you count as one of the downloads. But yeah, it's just been fun. Everybody who's been downloading it has been adding me in the game. So I'm playing against, I think, 12 different people in Yahtzee. Yeah, and let me tell you, I thought I was pretty good playing against the bots, but now I'm playing against real people. It's a little bit tougher. But it's been a lot of fun, actually. Genuinely really enjoying it. We're hyping it up in the Discord, making it a fun time. And then even giving away a prize to whoever levels the highest, whether that's a 6-month subscription to my Twitch channel or a Battle.net gift card. It's kind of their choice, what people would prefer. But yeah, just going to be really cool. We're excited. It's fun. A little different than our normal promo that we do, but this one's personal for me, and I want to put it out there. Even if you don't, thank you so much for being a part of the Warband and listening to the podcast. We appreciate it so much. With that said, though, we are going to get into our listener questions for this week. Chicken, I actually closed out the document. Do you want to read off the first question?
Sure. I'll read all of them.
Perfect.
The first one came from our boy Joe.
Ooh.
It says, do you think Blizz has already begun using AI to perform things like class balancing and hotfix? I've played every expansion minus 95% of MOP and WAD, and I can confidently say I've never seen so many changes to classes. It seems that every week they're making major changes to fix things that shouldn't be a problem in the first place.
Ooh, that's a good question.
This one,
yeah,
this one's interesting.
You know, if I were to give a hot answer to that question,
I'm ready.
I think the hot answer, and I please, if you work for Blizzard, I love you guys. Don't take this too seriously. The hot answer would be that I think maybe it would be better if they were using AI.
Oh my gosh.
To make those balancing changes.
Stop.
I mean, we're talking like raw numbers, right? Like we're talking like raw numbers. So at the end of the day, right? Like that actually might be the one thing that AI would actually be more beneficial at. And and you could just like have AI, like just track thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of runs and dungeons and raids, and like analyze which tanks are taking what damage and what's the problem. Like, I actually wonder how close AI. I'm not usually the like, oh, have AI do it guy, but I feel like that could actually get like really, really stinking close. I do have a more maybe serious response to that question though, but Chicken, I'll let you kind of give your 2 cents as well.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know. I would be kind of hard pressed as someone that used AI pretty like religiously a couple weeks ago for a work project, and not even something that I thought was that hard to do. It was pretty bad. Like, I was struggling to get AI to work for a project that I was doing. And I didn't think what I was asking it was like crazy hard. I thought it was pretty reasonable. And I even had AI coming up with AI prompts to try to force the AI to make a better AI solution, if that makes sense. So I feel like people think AI is a lot more advanced than it is. And I mean, to be honest, making like class changes, I would kind of be shocked. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if they're using AI to make like graphics and like things like that. But I would be a little shocked if they were letting AI make some decisions for like class balancing, like major decisions.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe like you said, like doing analytics of like, okay, like this class definitely seems better, but it's one of those things of like you mentioned before. Do we really want like every class to perform exactly the same, like stat distribution wise?
Yep.
Like, I feel like that makes the game like a tiny bit boring, especially for the people that play like pretty religiously.
Yeah. I also have a kind of a more serious answer to this. I think more perspective. It's more perspective. Is class tuning worse than it's ever been, or is it better than it's ever been?
Don't ask me.
That's really right. Like, the answer to that question changes the question that's being asked overall. And I would argue that generally speaking, class balance is better than it's ever been. Last expansion was so good. Like, the balance last expansion was so freaking good. And the balance this expansion, generally not horrendous. Like, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I do think there were a lot of problems, before someone tries to correct me. I think there were a lot of problems with the launch of Midnight. They added in Apex talents, and that caused some issues. They added in a like stat squish. I think the stat squish did way more damage than we realized it did, right? And the whole add-on changed like even just the way people are playing and how they're interacting with things. What they're able to track, not track. So Blizzard had to like simplify, right? We also had the class simplification that happened. So you have the stat squish, you have the class simplification, you have the Apex talents being added in, and even just this kind of fourth, not super important, but kind of important add-on removal, right? So you have all those things happening going into one expansion. It's almost as if like every class got redesigned to an extent. And that takes a second. It takes a second for that to level out and balance. But I think Blizzard has been better at tuning than they've ever been in the last couple expansions. And the reason why that's important to understand is because, are all of these updates a result of Blizzard tuning poorly, or are all these updates a result of Blizzard being attentive and actually taking the time to consistently balance and work through the classes and make sure the game feels good for as many people as they can make the game feel good for? Because, man, dude, like back in the day, if your class wasn't great, deal with it, right? Like sucks to suck,
Basically.
free roll, right? Like get good, noob, right? Like, I don't know what to tell you. And now the answer is like, oh, actually, Blizzard's gonna patch that. They're gonna bring that
Blizzard
in, right?
will fix that, yeah.
Blizzard will fix that. So it's one of those things where I think maybe we can be more thankful for it, even though, I don't know. I guess part of it is, right, like every time Blizzard fixes a problem, it brings that problem before our eyes, right? So
Yeah,
problems that we would have ignored before or laughed about and just been like, oh, dude, that's why you don't play a balanced druid. All of a sudden now are brought before our eyes in an official sense constantly, when before it was just ignored, right? So I don't know. It's kind of, again, I'm not necessarily saying you're right or you're wrong. I'm just saying I think the perspective changes it, and I do think the balance is tighter than it's ever been. Even there's an old interview or not an interview. It's like a TED Talk type of thing that one of the Blizzard higher ups gave. It might have been Ian. It might have been Ian who gave it, talking about balancing of classes and how just like they've had the most balanced classes they've ever had, and yet they're getting the most complaints that they've ever had. And that like I'll have to find it at some point and post it in the Discord. It's one of the most like eye-opening like talks though. He's like talking to other game developers and explaining how some stuff works. But it's really cool. It's like really cool even to see how like one class that was doing really, really high on the meters, all of a sudden when another spec is balanced kind of close enough to it that people start jumping ship and going to that new one, what you found was that oftentimes the numbers were like the overall numbers were disingenuous because the best players were always just picking whatever spec was slightly better, and so it would actually make it look even more imbalanced because like the top 20% of players, 30%, 50% players were all playing that spec, and then another spec for that class, the only people playing it were not the top players. They're just the people who were just wanting to play that spec because they like that spec. And all of a sudden now, like, it looks like that spec's way worse than it actually is because it's just not getting the same love that a slightly better performing spec. It was very interesting. He was like pulling out the numbers, showing data, showing charts. I'll have to find that and post at some point. But sorry, I definitely dug into that question maybe a little more than needed. But it's a fun one. It was a good question.
Yeah, no, it's a hot take. It is a good question because especially in the day and age we live in.
Yeah.
Where AI is like the big thing right now. AI is just everywhere.
And really, right now, the question everybody keeps asking is like, is AI our savior or is AI our like worst enemy? What what is it? Right? Like, is it the villain? Is it the hero? And at the end of the day, it's a tool, and if Blizzard can use that tool to make something awesome, I'm okay with it, right? But if Blizzard uses that tool to make something that's not awesome or to lose some of the magic of what we have, then I don't want it.
Yeah, that's fair. On to the next one from our good friend Tiger Ace Ray.
Oh, I love that guy.
Now that we are pretty far into season 1, has Midnight lived up to your expectations you had going into it from the War Within?
Ooh,
I mean, if you want me to be honest, I don't know if I had many expectations. Low key, like I don't think I had many expectations going into.
I think I had some. I
didn't really have many. I just was like, okay, here we go. Is it gonna be good? Is it gonna be bad?
Yeah. So I will say I was really excited for the old Zone remakes, right? So Eversong, Silver Moon, Quel'Danas, and Zul'Aman, or is it Zul'Aman?
Yes.
Yeah. Those, even though Zul'Aman technically wasn't really much of a zone before, those have all been outstanding, just absolutely stellar, knocked it out of the park. I don't know if I care that much for Herondar. It's whatever. It's there. It exists.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
Voidstorm feels done. Like Voidstorm feels like we've done it before. It feels like a random.
Yeah, it does feel. Yeah. I agree.
So that's whatever to me. However, I do, again, I love some of those zones. M+, I think M+ has been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed M+ this season. That's been good. The raid bosses have been great. I love the raid fights. I've had a great time at raid. So that's been fantastic. The lore is hit or miss. There's some elements that I love and some elements that feel really watered down and kind of weak. So that's kind of back and forth. Maybe more on the negative than the positive than I was hoping with a return back to like main.
Interesting.
Afro. But otherwise, I mean, overall though, at the end of the day, dude, if I'm enjoying dungeons and raids, then I'm happy. That's what I'm doing. Most of the time, I'm not sitting there going through lore as much as I love the lore, right? Like most of the time, I'm just trying to like speed run a key or hang with friends at a raid, and that has been fantastic. And I do enjoy some of the stuff that they're trying to test out and different ways to keep people engaged has been really good.
Yeah, I mean that's good. Yeah, I mean, you know, I didn't have like a ton of expectations going in. I think my main one was just, is it going to be better than the War Within versus not better than the War Within? I mean, my quick opinion is so far, I think it's been about the same. I can't really say that it's better or worse. I think it's pretty similar.
Yeah.
I think the additions to the War Within have, you know, been interesting and fun, right? The only thing is, if we're gonna truly weigh in on what we say is midnight, right?
Yeah.
Then obviously player housing is a big
yeah,
addition
dude.
that kind of knocks it out of the park.
Dude, that's why I said forever ago. Remember forever ago when I was like, bro, the big problem with housing coming out so early is people will forget it was a part of midnight. Oh, dude, housing's so good, bro. I've been back in my house this week working on stuff. It's just so good. It's so good.
I just took a break from it for a while, and I feel like it's time. Yeah, I think like if you want my bold opinion, and we can talk about it more, obviously not today, I think they should reserve like 0.7 patches for just like full sending, like player housing stuff, like full sending, because I feel like that's what people will like resort to in a 0.7 patch. Anyways.
Yeah.
Last question we have coming from Googly Dog. This is a good one. I think this is going to be a good question for you, my friend. He says, or she says, I'm assuming it's, well, I don't know. I'm getting my girlfriend into WoW with the power of collecting mounts and decor. She used to play first-person shooters, is unfamiliar with combat systems, although I hope one-button rotation helps with that. Do either of you have any tips for helping her get to 90 so she can start doing what she enjoys more? Actually, I guess this is for both of us. I thought it was more geared towards having a girlfriend. Although I guess you don't have a girlfriend either. Sorry, I butchered that. Anyways, what tips to get to 90? Do you think of any in particular?
Dude, that's a hard one. Stick mostly to story stuff, right? Keep it as streamlined as possible. Do it alongside them. Talk with them. Make it fun. The reality, though, is leveling is a slog, and especially if housing's the thing you want to do, it makes it feel even worse.
Yeah.
I think you're still able to do housing, though, before level 90.
I think so.
So if you can get into housing now, that would be great, right? My wife is the same way, by the way. She literally does not care about the rest of the game. She just wants to do housing stuff. Over time, she started to warm up more and more to non-housing things.
Because it gets housing stuff.
But a lot of times it's because she wants housing stuff for her house. And so, yeah, but at the end of the day, too, you can't force somebody to do something they don't really want to do. And that's where it's not as fun. I would also pick a class that is easy, like unless you've already like kind of gone. But I would pick a class that isn't overly complicated, right? Like Druid is enticing, but Druid can be really discouraging, right? Rogue is discouraging, right? Hunter is not as discouraging. Mage can be kind of fun for people to do. Paladin, if they want to do more melee, can be fun. The nice thing is if she's done first-person shooters. Now the question is, has she played first-person shooters, or has she enjoyed playing first-person shooters? Because those are two different things, right? If she's like a gamer in general, just coming to WoW, I think once she kind of feels like she understands it, it'll make more sense, especially like maybe more of the challenge content. If it was like, oh, I got her to play a first-person shooter with me, it's gonna be a little harder, but I think you'll be able to win her more than maybe you could with Fortnite, just because in this case she'll have something she kind of feel like she can work toward and be excited about in housing and decor. And also, like, some of the old content still has housing stuff in it, so when possible, help her collect things early so that she can be excited to get them in her house. Good plug to remind people that the Warband podcast has our neighborhood. If you want to join it, pop into our Discord, leave a comment saying that you want to be added to the neighborhood, and give us your character's name and server. It's got to be NA, but give us your character's name and server. Just let us know you want to join, and I'll add you to the list.
Yeah, no, that's a good catch. And to be honest, my only piece of advice for leveling is, fortunately, I think the best thing you can do is just low and slow. Just take it a little bit at a time. Don't push yourself because you'll burn out so quick. Just don't try to be like, I'm gonna level to 90 in like a day. Like,
Oh
just
yeah,
don't.
WoW
Please
players have
don't.
this like obsessive need to speed run leveling. You don't have to do that. You don't have
Especially
to
for a
min
first
max
person
leveling with
or a
with your
first
wife,
time
or
player.
girlfriend. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you want to do it, you've leveled you've leveled to 90 like 100 times. Yeah, speed run that thing, right? Like,
Yep.
go at it. Take it, 2 hours and you're at 90. But if you're trying to get someone into WoW, don't do that. That's a terrible idea.
Absolutely, the worst idea you've ever had in your entire life.
And
All right. That's everything.
Wraps it up for questions.
Yeah. Thank you guys for sending your questions in. If you have any more questions you want to send into the Warband podcast, you can join our Discord and go to the Pod Questions channel. If there's anything from the podcast you guys want to discuss further, we also have a pod discussion channel in the Discord, or just leave a comment on whatever platform you're listening on. And of course, as always, your reviews of the podcast help us out tremendously, especially like if you think positively of us. So thank you guys.
True.
Thank you for listening, and we will see you again next week with a special guest.
True. Yeah, special guest that I'm not aware of, but yeah, special guest.
Yep.